right, you're about to get poked. If you don't want to get poked, then move on. Press stop. I don't know what I'm going to poke you about. I'll just talk. So I missed a couple days last week doing the podcast, which I think is more something on my mind than anybody else's, because it's a checkpoint for me. It's a checkpoint for me on mental health. I don't know, a point of being alive. I thought the wash was done. That's why I started the podcast. Somehow there's a ghost cycle, so sorry if you can hear that. And my kid came home a little sick on Friday. Apparently strep throat was going around, but you might know or might not know that I'm a physician. I practice East Asian medicine, and so I can actually see where things are in the body with lots of different cues that the body gives. And I could see that it was still relatively superficial. It had gone in a little bit, but not too bad. So we just started pounding some garlic honey. If you've never done that, basically you take a head of garlic or more. You can do a huge jar. I wouldn't recommend it if you've never done it. You just take a head, peel it, don't cut it, just, the raw cloves, and get the best you can, like definitely organic, definitely local if you can do it. Local's always better for those things, garlic, honey, because you get the local minerals and pollens and all those things. So you put the garlic and honey, and it'll float initially, and you can turn it and kind of open the jar here and there just to let out any pressure that builds. But basically you get honey fermented garlic, but the honey itself is very medicinal, especially for little ones. So it's honey, but it has a garlic-ish taste to it. So mine are very well fermented. The garlic sinks, the honey or the garlic is a little bit translucent. I will eat the cloves. My son will not. He's tried a couple times and he gags. Gets real upset, but he knows that it's medicine, and he, for that reason, actually will end up asking for it. I also have a Chinese herbal pediatric line of herbs for him. We've only really ever had to use one of them. It's called Cold Quell Junior, and it's just a Chinese herbal formula, so multiple herbs in there to do different things and tackle different symptoms. So yeah, he came home, we started pounding that, and he did all right. He didn't get the strep. Oh, we did cups. I cupped him, so he's got some marks on his back. He loved that. He asked for it again a couple times, which is always a good sign. He won't let me do needles on him, which honestly I don't like doing on children. I prefer not to use needles on children. It's not really necessary. Their chi cycle is very quick. A full-grown adult's chi cycle in the 12 channels is about 25-ish minutes. So the time it takes for, the chi to fully circulate through all the meridians and channels. So typically you might be left on a table for about 25 minutes if you're getting acupuncture. I'm kind of diverging a little bit, but I don't do needles on him because a child's chi cycle is, I think it depends on the age, and I'm a little bit rusty on those details. It's been many years since I've read my pediatric book. I don't treat a lot of children typically. I do treat them, but needles are not necessary because their chi cycle is so fast. So it's about like 10 to 12 minutes, maybe 15, depending on their age. So a lot faster. The chi just, right, they're smaller bodies, they're younger bodies, so the chi moves much more quickly. Usually with a kid, I'll do something like needle in and out, like to clear some heat or get a channel unstuck or flowing if there's something really acute going on. But yeah, for kids, I can pretty much do touch. I can do liniments. I can do herbs. We have our little homemade concoctions now of our honey and garlic, which we both like having around. It's handy. So yeah, we beat the strep. He got a tiny little cough, a little bit of phlegm, and kind of low energy for a couple days, but that was it. So I love that. I love using my medicine on my son. It's always good when I have people to treat because it kind of, lifts me into a better space. But today I had my yoga class. Feel free to join me. I've committed myself to my Monday class. It is 11 a.m. Eastern, but it's coming from Central, so I think it's 9 Central. Yoga with Avery, 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 EY, Averey. Yoga with Avery, not Adrian. People sometimes think I'm saying Yoga with Adrian. She's fantastic. She's on YouTube. Avery is not on YouTube. They have a like a website, and you can subscribe and buy packages and classes, and they do all kinds of cool stuff. So I got to do my level 1 class this morning, which put me back in my body. And it got me grounded. So I'm really grounded right now coming to this today. The news and other things have been very heavy. My dreams have been very connected into situations and people that I'm not really a party to, like that I don't understand. Some of my psychic stuff has been kicking up, which is not great for my mental health, to be honest with you, especially being really isolated. So I'm a bit scattered. It's taken me a few days to gather myself. It's, what is it here on the East Coast, 2:26 p.m. And I'm just now feeling how I might otherwise feel at about 8 o'clock in the morning. So it's taken me that long to kind of get up on my feet and get going. I'm definitely getting big retrograde eclipse time kind of internal pushes and clearing out this stuff. A friend of mine texted me this, and it's how I think of it too, but I always love how people, reframe and reword things. And she said, eclipses and retrogrades, like people think of it as like, oh, it's so hard or it's so bad. But it's really not that. It's really a time to, clean things out, to clear things up, to get things unstuck, like to see the unseen. It's just tends to be stuff that people don't like to deal with. I'm pretty resolved in certain thoughts and feelings I'm having today. Not thoughts, more feelings. I'm really in my feelings and my body at the moment, less in my head, which can make it really difficult to communicate, not only on the podcast, but with people in my life. So I wonder how any of this bounces back on you, what it makes you think of. I know that coming here for me, really my intention is to try to draw people in, to help people to understand one at a time that I'm a resource, and that utilizing my resource serves me, helps me. And I think in a time when everybody needs a lot of help and support, whether that be, finding safe places to be, food, shelter, emotional safety, physical safety, physical, mental, emotional support of some kind, health, healing, right? We all need that support. And one of the cool things about the position that I'm in, because I'm really working on practicing jujitsu with what I don't have and trying to make it into a very strong, positive collection of things. And all the things I don't have, what it means, the things I don't have, which is a lot, is that I have time and space to hold time and space for other people, to answer questions, to offer my expertise, my knowledge, my insights, my intuitions, all of the skills that I've been trained in and all of the clinical practice that I've had. I am someone who could be making a lot of money doing the things that I do. I can't do that because of my domestic situation. I'm just in a situation that I haven't yet figured a way to get out of. But I do have a lot of time and space to offer for free. And in offering that, what I hope is to help and support people I'm hearing my son cough right now. And to help myself in that when I can help other people, when I can uplift other people, when I can encourage other people, when I can give other people insight and perspectives that might actually improve their lives, and that I know does, like, I know that I have this value, I know I can do it, and I can't tell you how frustrating it is to not have vehicles and avenues to do it. And so this is the avenue. This is what I found, is I can take a little time out of my day, and I can sit in front of a microphone, and I can remind everybody that I have that, and just keep doing it. And hope that one person at a time, one podcast at a time, 1 week at a time, that I just keep adding to my collection of listeners, or people who remember that I'm here, so that when they have a friend or a family member or a loved one or a neighbor or a coworker who's struggling and they can't get an answer, they have no insight, they don't understand, they're confused, they're pushed around by the Western medical system, they feel forgotten, they feel sick, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, any of those, all of those. That, oh my gosh, I know this woman who happens to have this weird pocket in her life where she's offering what she does. And, I can't, it seems, give it away for free, but I don't believe that. I know there are people that need help, and I certainly do. And this is how I help myself, by letting people know that I'm available, that I have things to offer to help you. I forget what it was today after yoga. There was something that just happened recently, because I would say on average about once a week, I get at least one person who will reach out to me, reach back to me, remind me, oh, do you remember when? And I have literally totally forgotten so many people because of TikTok. So many people have come through my path that I've helped through spiritual crisis, physical crisis, emotional crisis. And something like that happened recently, where somebody just reached out to say thank you. I don't know why I can't remember it in this moment. And it feels so amazing to still be able to help people, but I have the capacity to do a lot more. So that's why I show up to do this for myself. But in doing it for myself, which it absolutely is an act of self-care to offer me, the beauty in it for me is that it also does help other people, and I have for so long, and I really am trying to invite it back into my life. And at the moment, talking about my own healing journey in this moment, because on the whole I'm a pretty healed whole awesome fucking person. But in the moment right now, this time is very difficult, very difficult. I'm definitely in a 1 minute at a time sometimes, 1 hour at a time. And that's okay. I think a lot of times I'm really grateful for it, I'll try to bring this to a close. This is definitely a ramble today because I didn't know what to say, but I wanted to get on here. And I was in yoga today, and it was a level 1 class, which you shouldn't be fooled by. Level 1 classes, if they're doing it right, tend to be the harder classes because they're really challenging you to grow and to learn. It's, level 2 and all that, it's more like just fun. You get to more play, and you already kind of are in a certain place. But I'm back at level 1 to challenge myself and try to get in shape again. And we did this thing today that was, to me, so not level 1. Like, to me, it was more like level 3. And what I love about my teacher, Avery, is that they are really into just exploration and playing. There is no ego in this class. It is how I fell in love with them to begin with, because they don't have an ego. They do, of course, I'm sure. But in terms of the yoga, right, there's no pretense. There's no, you have to be a certain way, look a certain way, be a certain kind of person, do the pose perfectly. It's not that at all. It's the opposite of that. It's show up. It's where's the work? Where's my work? And putting your mind into that space. And so they were saying a couple of things that it helped me today about playing and how, the beginner versus the advanced yogi, the difference is the ability to laugh at oneself. And I thought, well, then I must be a pretty advanced yogi, because I laughed at myself a lot today because I am quite out of shape in certain ways, and just not always, as great as I'd like to be at the yoga at certain things. This was a pretty advanced move that we were doing, I thought. And they did say that. They were like, yeah, this probably isn't a level 1 thing. I'm just like laughing so hard. Like, no, I could not do it. It was humbling. But also the idea that when you challenge yourself willingly, not like some of the challenges that are coming at us right now in the United States that we are unwilling participants of, right? We're just getting shit hurled at our heads, and it won't stop, It doesn't stop, and it's so real. It's, it's not just a matter of like, oh, don't turn on the news. Like, okay, I mean, yeah, sure, take a break. Don't overload on that stuff. I certainly don't at all. That's just a plan for madness. But even without it, the effects are everywhere. They're real life. Every day I have somebody tell me something that's like affecting them based on the changes that are happening, And so they were saying that when you have the opportunity to willingly take on a challenge, to do it, with your permission, and to challenge yourself, to explore within yourself, that the physical challenge, especially if you're trying to, say, stabilize on your arms, to swing your legs between your arms in both directions, like we were doing today on blocks. I laughed because an hour before that I was laying in bed thinking I didn't know how I was going to get out of bed today. And there I was on blocks being ridiculous and laughing at myself. That it takes your mind out of your problems, of the moment. And it brings you into your body, into just trying to balance on your arms and open your chest and be with your spine and lock your femur into the socket of the pelvis and turn the inner knee to the outer knee. Yeah, I am struggling, but my struggle is that I'm not able to reach out and do the work that I want to do. So I'm going to keep showing up for this. I'm going to keep doing my yoga. And the other thing that I'm trying to do is write. Haven't gotten to that one yet. Hoping to make that a more regular thing. It's one step at a time, 1 week at a time. I think doing a podcast nearly every day of the week, and showing up for yoga where I act like a fool and try to do foolish things. I did do a shoulder stand today though, and I was sweating because I was really in it. So I'm proud of that. Yeah, I'm just going to keep showing up. Just keep showing up, And I share all this in hopes, not for sympathy. I don't need sympathy. Sympathy doesn't help me. I love you for it, for everybody who, has that for me, who knows me. But what I want is connection. What I want is community. And I will keep working on that. And trying to find a flow and a river that has value. So pass it along. Oh, I accidentally hit stop, so pass it along. Share me with your neighbors, your friends, your coworkers, your loved ones. Maybe even some people you don't like. Maybe you'd like them better if they got a little help and support. So, yeah, questions welcome. Become a member of my Patreon. It's free. You can donate. You can be a paid member, but it's free to listen to the podcast and free to get answers. And you can also subscribe to my YouTube. That would be great. And my TikTok live of this broadcast will go up on YouTube. So keep your chin up. Don't let the bastards get you down. Get sleep. Check your poop. Drink water. And if you have health questions or concerns, or you just want answers, leave me a message on Patreon. It's a good way to go. Take care.